People like to tell me things, those deep, dark, naughty little desires that are on their mind.
So a few weeks ago I read the news about Lucifer Season 6 coming out soon, and I decided to watch a few episodes, probably Season 1 just to kill some time, but I ended up watching the whole series. I watched 5 seasons and I'm definitely gonna watch Season 6. And today I wanna tell you why I found Lucifer so interesting. First of all, why I was so skeptical about it in the first place. 2 of my friends watched Lucifer and they said they couldn't manage even to finish Season 1 because it was, well, a little strange. Like one of my friends said, I watched 5 episodes and I couldn't figure out what genre it was. It looked like it was some kind of urban fantasy about the devil who came down to earth and opened his business nightclub. But at the same time it was a detective story, police procedural, but it was quite a strange and not very interesting detective story. And yes, this is true, Lucifer is an interesting combination of at least 3 genres. And the first episode might be a little misleading because it seems to be mostly police procedural, but it's not. I would say that this is the formula of Lucifer. 50% of family drama about family and relationships, 30% of urban fantasy about the devil who came to earth, and about 20% of police procedural, about the police and the devil solving murders. The balance changes a little throughout the show. At first it's mostly police procedural / urban fantasy, but then we see more and more of that family drama, which is the biggest part of the series. And of course there is a lot of humor on all of those 3 levels. I wouldn't say that comedy is the definition of Lucifer, but it's pretty funny. So let me tell you about those 3 parts and how they work. The family drama part. The family drama part is a story about a big but quite dysfunctional family. There is a very strict father who has a lot of sons and daughters, and there is one, the most rebellious son, who doesn't like how things work at home. So the rebellious son wanted to change things at home, but he ended up kicked out of the house by his dad. The father punished him, he decided that the son has to be more serious, he got him a job, quite a terrible job, and the son had to work there for a long time until he decided to take a vacation. So he took a leave and he went to Los Angeles, where he started his own business, had a lot of fun and found his true love. The father realized that he is losing his son, so he decided to send his other son, the favorite one, to LA to find that rebellious son, to reason him, to speak with him, and to get him go back home. To be more precise, to get him go back to his terrible work.
Try it. You think Father's upset now?
And this is just the beginning of the story. The family is quite big, so there are other siblings, like a little brother who was bullied by the older brothers all the time. There is a funny nerdy sister and a goody two-shoes sister who always does what the father tells her to do. So this story could have been just a normal family story about normal humans without any angels and the devil. But as I said, this is just 50% of the story. There is another part of the story, which is urban fantasy. The father is actually God, his rebellious son is the devil, Lucifer, his favorite son is an archangel, Amenadiel, their siblings are angels, and the terrible job that the father had for his son was being the king of hell. The main characters have their superpowers. For example, Lucifer, the devil himself, has a superpower of revealing people's secret desires. He looks at their eyes and says,
Tell me, what is it that you truly desire?
And they do tell him what they desire. This superpower, by the way, is very handy when he is solving murders. So now let's get to the police procedural part. About half of the characters in the story are police officers and detectives. The main characters are Chloe Decker, a police detective, and Lucifer, who works as a police consultant.
Lucifer Morningstar, is that a stage name?
God-given, I'm afraid.
Actually, he's a business owner, he has a nightclub, but then he started assisting the police and he ended up working with them officially as a consultant. So you might be wondering, how does it work? How the family part and the urban fantasy part work with the police procedural part? Is it like 2 or 3 different storylines or what? Well, not exactly. Each episode we have a crime and the characters are solving that crime. But the detective part of the story, in my opinion, is just a supporting part. You see, Lucifer started working with the police solving crimes because he figured out that Detective Chloe Decker has some special power over him that he didn't understand.
So what is it you truly desire now?
Lucifer, what the hell are you doing?
So the reason why he worked with her was not because he wanted to solve murders, he just wanted to know more about himself. And throughout the whole series, he's working with those cases just because he is basically solving his own problems. He tends to project his own personal issues on those cases, on everything he's dealing with. He's looking for answers to his problems, for the solutions to his problems in the cases he's working with. For example, in one of those episodes, Lucifer had a creative block. He needed to create something, make something, but he couldn't because he lost his creative power. And the case that they were working at the time was the murder of a best-selling author. Lucifer wanted to solve that case not just because he wanted to punish the bad guys. This is one of the reasons why he takes those cases. He wanted to punish people. But a very important reason, the main reason, was he wanted to figure out how to solve his creativity block problem. Before the writer was murdered, she had years of creativity problems, creativity block, but she finally managed to overcome that block and write her last novel. The novel wasn't published yet, and the manuscript was stolen by the murderer, and in that last novel there was an afterword, and in that afterword the editor said that in that afterword the writer was talking about how she overcame that writer's block. So Lucifer was eager to solve that case not just because he wanted to punish that murder. He wanted to find that book, read the afterword, and figure out for himself how to solve his own creative block. So I would say that police procedural is the skeleton of that story. Without it, it would fall apart. And the flesh of the story is the urban fantasy part. But the soul of the story is, of course, family drama. And of course there is a lot of humor. Without humor, Lucifer wouldn't be so fun. I like that kind of humor that is not just about lines, jokes, punchlines delivered by the characters from time to time.
Now, come on, gorgeous, you tell me your most dangerous desire.
Cheeseburger.
But it's more about the funny situations they get into. For example, the whole premise of the show, the devil coming down to earth and working as a nightclub owner, is already funny. Or there is a situation where a psychologist, a therapist, is consulting the devil who has some kind of family problems. But now I was talking mostly about the genre and the story, but of course a very important part of Lucifer is Lucifer himself, the main character and the actor. Tom Ellis did a very good job. I can't imagine anyone else being Lucifer in that show. It's just impossible. I'm not gonna say a lot about the character and about the actor. You just need to see him for yourself and see whether you find the character charismatic, funny or not. And of course it's not just Lucifer, there are many interesting characters, some of them are interesting in a quite unexpected way. For example, one of the Lucifer's siblings was only in one episode, it was Azrael, the Angel of Death. But the Angel of Death turned out to be not the kind of person you would expect an Angel of Death to be. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers about the episode, but it's one of my favorite episodes in the whole show. So let me sum it up. Lucifer is a funny, charming family drama / comedy about fantasy characters solving crimes and their own relationship and family problems. Don't expect it to be an interesting police procedural. If this is the reason why you are watching it, probably you would be disappointed. The mystery, the detective part in Lucifer is quite small, predictable and not interesting. In most cases, Lucifer uses his superpower to speed up the investigation. He would just speak with the suspect, use his mojo, what is that you truly desire, and the suspect would spit out, well, not confession usually, but a very important clue. But if you'd like to watch that funny family story about, as one of the characters said, the most dysfunctional family in the universe, you will have a lot of fun. Thank you for watching my video. If you have seen Lucifer, please let me know in the comments below whether you were disappointed or not, whether you liked the show or not really. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you liked my video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. I make videos on quite different topics, and see you next time. Bye!